Good evening, everyone. I feel like there's so much to say, but so little time. Um, anyways, I find it quite interesting that God, in His wisdom, has designed us, each one of us, uniquely and intimately. And I want to speak about God as a creator this evening. And what I want to share with us is that God has, point number one, He, in His wisdom, has created us in our image, or in His image and in His likeness. And I'm going to read Genesis 1, verse 26. It says, "Then God said, 'Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth.'" And I think this is so good, because this is so exciting, because this means that that by God's design, we are designed to desire to create things. We are designed to actually have the freedom and ability to create things. And I personally don't often have this perspective and lens when I work with people and I do things. And I think God reminds us in His Word of who He is, but also who we are as a result of that. And so we can play our role, and we can take part in creation in all areas of life, in our workplaces and our home spaces and all these things, in our social spaces. And I love how we can create actually what we want to see in the world. And so cultivating something in my life can either happen to me, or alternatively, I can share my heart with God and continually ask Him, what does creating something that would glorify Him, what does that look like? I hope that makes sense. And secondly, so point number one, He's designed us in His image and in His likeness. And secondly, sorry, I'm trying to work with my notes here. And secondly, He has created us to form and shape our environments in love. I'll speak more to that. And what I love is that the Psalm of Thanksgiving, Psalm 100, verse 2 to 5 says, "Serve the Lord with gladness, come into His presence with singing. Know that the Lord, He is God. It is He who made us, not we ourselves. We are His people, and the sheep of His pasture." And because we live in Cape Town, we can assume that that pasture is organic. We can assume that it's all the things, you know what I mean? But having said all of that, essentially, we are creators as people. And we are on a mission to see His kingdom in our lives. And sometimes it can feel quite broad and out there, but I think our limitations in trying to partake and do that, our limitations actually remind us of His invitation to His love and to His rest and to His nearness. Because at the end of the day, we can't really do any of this without Him. And so He being our creator and us being His creation, I think it's so interesting and so exciting that we get to consistently ask Him, cool, like, what does this look like, God, in this space or in this area? And I love a bit of cultural commentary. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that. And I think when I look at the world and trying to understand what's happening around me, whether it's reading weekly op-eds on whatever, or opinion pieces on Financial Times, I think we can look at culture and we can look at things around us and we can go, well, how do we understand this? We can either criticize it, we can either imitate or copy the things we like around us in culture. And thirdly, I think we can either just consume and be relaxed and actually just take it all in and not really do much. And most often, that's what I do, that's what people do. But I think God is so kind, and the invitation, or if you watch NBA, here's the buzzer beater. Nothing that humans make is ever willingly meaningless, you know? So nothing that we make is something that we're making because we're just making meaningless things. I think, but rather in the same breath, it's hard to create meaning, right? Without us as humans, like, creating things. So I'll say that again. Like, I think it's hard for us to create meaning without us as humans creating things, right? And so, Gabe has two red heads. And we create human beings. God has placed us on this earth to multiply. There's so many different ways of understanding this. We've got clients to please with projects and work and whatever it looks like. And I think understanding what creation looks like in each area of our lives is so challenging, because it's easy not to think about it for me. And so I say this all to say again that the call for us is to create things in this world as we and our Father would actually like to see them. And so personally for me, I think God's word is reminding me that we are not our own maker, and I'm actually not my own creator. Like, I don't know, autonomously doing my own thing. Um, and no matter how many podcasts or weekly op-eds I can read, it's not really going to do anything for me, but rather, he is my shepherd. And as sheep have limitations and are prone to be vulnerable, I too have been vulnerable of acting as if I am my own creator. And so the invitation for you and I, church, is to be intentionally cultivating a practice that reminds us of how our God designed human limitations can be a gateway into his presence. And so I hope that is challenging, and I hope that is encouraging to me and us. I felt like I rushed through my points, but that's me. Thank you so much.